You may begin speaking now.
Ultra Rising, this is Lord Heka Ra, a.k.a. solraeljustice, a.k.a. Heka-blac butterfly, a.k.a. you already know who this is, man, and there's no need for no introduction. You dig? Alright, greetings from here all the way to the sun. Shout out to everybody, man, with the support that's still thriving with me. You feel what I'm saying, man? I thank you to my day one, A1s, true ones, genuine supporters. You already know you are. I want to say one thing before we start this Sunday sermon today. Today I won't be reading from a scripture in the Bible like how I usually be doing it. Today I'll read from a scripture from another book. And the name of this book is one of the books that I've wrote, and it's called The Metaphysical Universal Law of Divine Justice. That's not the name of the book. The name of the book is The Multidimensional Perspective, something like that. But I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Let me get my words straight. And we're going to keep this in there, too. We're going to keep the raw diggity. We're going to keep this part in there. Don't edit this part, okay? So, The Metaphysical Law Book of Divine Justice, right? A multidimensional perspective. That's the name of the book. And so, we will be reading one of the laws out of that book. And that's going to be our scripture for today, because the word scripture just literally is a passage or affirmation from out of a book, of a special book, of a holy book, or a book that you see highly, right? Highly valuable, okay? With that being said, I do have a quick message I want to say. Thank you to anybody who has ordered any books, and any books that have ever been ordered has always been sent out. If how and by some way that you didn't receive your books, then this had to be the address or something, that you, like, on your behalf. So, to whoever sent the email about them supposedly not receiving their books, I have sent you back the email of screenshots of your books actually being delivered to the address that you bring this to. And I wanted to bring this here because I want everybody else to know that if you order anything, a service, or especially any books and T-shirts and hoodies and stuff from my website, please make sure that you use the right address. Make sure that you include everything you need in that exact address. Double check your address. Also, this is very important, that you make sure you use the same email that you purchased your books or that you purchased your service with. Because if we having a service and we having if you book a reading from me, I do your reading, and at the reading I got a declaration, or I got something for you to write, and you sending me, I send it to the email that you signed up with, and you don't get it because you're using another email. That's what I'm saying. So please just make sure that you guys, on your behalf, make sure that you're covering, yourself and doing everything right on your behalf. And with that being said, I love you all. Thank you for any purchases. Let's get started. So today's sermon, of course, is going to be starting from a different scripture, but the name of this is called Trust the Process, Trials and Tribulations. Soul Day Sermon 21. #metaphysical, #ministry. All right, so now I wanted to share something with you guys today. I think this lecture will be a little bit personal today. I want to share kind of my raw experience that I've had, or that I've been having, but it's all a part of the assignment, right? It's all a part of the assignment. So today I wrote in my journal, right? I wrote in my journal a realization that I had on my thoughts. I like to kind of just write down my thoughts and things that I actually realize about myself while I'm here. And very personal to me, right? And very close to my heart. But I'm going to share one with you guys today in order to, crack this sermon wide open, okay? Then I'll share an experience with you all, and then I'll share the scripture, which is a universal law from the Metaphysical Law Book of Divine Justice. if you would like to get that book, this is definitely a book that you should have in your collection of books. You feel me? And it's the link is down below. Also, I have poems that I'm working on an album. Right, I'm working on a poetry album, and so you can go check out some of my singles too. The link is down below, or you can check out my community tab and go over there and visit me on Spotify or anywhere else, YouTube channel, my YouTube music channel, and all of that. With that being said, thank you, man. Happy birthday to all the Sagittarius out there in the world, and yeah, let's get it. So, what I said was, I realized today that life is a creative art piece or creative artwork, and building character through our own personal trials and tribulations is more colorfully creative than everything being perfectly right all the time. Testimonies really matter, and there is no limit as to how colorful we can be in creating one. Trust the process and trust yourself even more. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time because I kind of, my tongue is weird today, okay? But we're gonna still keep it pushing. Let me breathe. All right, so I said, I realized today that life is a creative art piece or creative artwork, and building character through our own personal trials and tribulations is more colorfully creative than everything being perfectly right all the time. Testimonies really matter, and there is no limit as to how colorful we can be in creating one. Trust the process and trust yourself even more. Okay? So what does that mean right there, right? What does that realization mean? It means that, it's something about the higher power. One thing I know about the higher power is boredom is never its forte. Boredom is never its way of expressing life, right? It's never its way of showing how to have fun or how to play life. And that's why sometimes if you're not listening to, your intuition, or you're not listening to the Most High, or you're not listening to whatever the source, the source that you're connected to, the divine source, the intergalactic being within yourself, whatever you want to call it, if you're not listening to that power, sometimes, the energies that are working with you will be very creative in getting your attention, right? Why is this? Why do they want to be very creative in getting your attention, right? This is because life is creative art, and the more colorful you make it, the more, beautiful it is. For example, let's say that there's a rapper or a poet. Let's say that there's a poet who's had a rough life, or it could even be a country. It could even be a country musician, right? A country songwriter or something. Either way, no matter what walk of life they came from, they maybe grew up with not really such a easy path or whatnot, not a silver spoon to their mouth, and so they kind of had to take care of themselves, or their parents wasn't really parenting the way the parents should parent and things like that, and so they came, into these different situations and whatnot. Let's say that is the case. Now, let's say that, they go to prison, they go to jail, they go away, right? They get sick even, or they go through a major illness or something, and they're in the hospital. They can't really do nothing, right? But let's say they make it through this illness, or they make it through prison, or they make it through jail. And then once they get out, while they're there, they connect with a part of themselves who they're going to need when they get out. And when they get out, that part of themselves that they needed, they use to amplify who they, was already supposed to become, and then they be it. So what that means now, this person could be famous, right? This could be a famous country musician like Jelly Roll, or it could be a famous poet, right? Like Shakespeare or something like that. And so, the whole point of me saying that is, now let's say that they want to get signed, right? Let's say that before they became famous, they was in the state of wanting to be signed. And the labels or the publishers, they want to know the first thing they come to these artists and to these individuals, and they want to know the first thing about them. Tell us your testimony, We want to know your testimony. How grand is your testimony? You know what I'm saying? How colorfully creative is your testimony? Now, you could take a regular person who's been, like Will Smith kid or something like that. You could take some kids like that who just, the testimony, it might be a little bit colorful, right? But would it be more colorful than somebody who's really, 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 understands the crevices and the creases and the grinds of life? You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody who's everything been given to them. No disrespect to Will Smith and his kids, though. I'm sure he probably works on his kids. I was just using that name for an example. So don't take it literal, y'all. Don't take it personal. So basically, I said all that to say this, that so you could have the regular life. I could have chose the regular path to just kind of do what I was doing, other than this path, right? I could have chose that, but that was never going to manifest because that wasn't the highest timeline. And that way, it just might have been a little boring. Everything just all right all the time. That might have just been a little boring. And then if everything is all right all the time, where's balance? Where's balance? We got to have balance. And so I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, this was way more creative than everything working out and everything going well 100%. And, that's going to sound strange to some people, but to some people, they're going to really understand what I'm saying. With that being said, let's start on with the next part. The scripture for today is the universal law of prayer affirmation, right? The universal law of prayer affirmation states that every statement declared repeatedly will become a true reality. If you affirm it, then it shall be, especially when according to divine will and divine timing. This works for positive and negative perspectives. Affirmations assist with suppressing the subconscious mind, thus bringing about what one seeks in real time. Now, that's saying a lot right there, y'all. And let me tell you, right now we on to the trials and tribulations, and we just left the trials and tribulations, and now we on to this next part. So let me tell you that I was saying an affirmation, right? As per the law of prayer affirmation, I was saying an affirmation, right, for like this whole entire year, right? And so the beginning of the year, I was saying this affirmation. The affirmation was this. Excuse me. It was my highest timeline is unfolding right before my very eyes, and I am walking in it faithfully. Okay? Now, that's a lot. That's a lot I just said, but it's powerful, right? My highest timeline is unfolding right before my very eyes, and I am walking in it faithfully. Now, when you saying that, I'm saying that I'm thinking it's going to be easy, because I'm like, oh, it's my highest timeline. It's the way that everything's supposed to go. It's divinely guided, so it should be an easier path than me not being on the highest timeline. But it turns out, guys, that me not being on the highest timeline probably would have been the easier route, because that route involves the boring, right? That route involves the path that's not so colorful as the creative way, that we've made this one. And that's when you have to just learn, the trials and tribulations manifest, right? Soon you say that, like as per the law of prayer and affirmation. Soon I said that, I just read you the scripture. Soon I said that the timeline manifested immediately. But once the timeline manifests, now it unfolds right before your very eyes. But however, there's a process to the unfolding, and through that process of
1 minute remaining.
And through that process of the unfolding, you have your trials and your tribulations. Now, your trials and your tribulations are your opportunities. You feel me? Are your opportunities to expand. So this is what we're going to do, y'all. I'm actually going to do a part 2 to this, right? I'm going to do a part 2 to this literally like right now. I'm going to record a part 2. We're going to finish this out. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video.